Okay, everybody take your seats, get comfortable. You're watching the Children of the Free Church. This is a faith-based church And we gather here live every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for the teaching. My name is Charles Garcia. I'm the pastor. And the teaching, how many messages we have on this archive now? 150 plus?
We are at message 410 today.
We're at message 410, but we have at least 150 of these messages available on the archives on childrenofthefree.com as well as on YouTube. Now, today is October the 4th. In the Great Pyramid that we taught a whole in-depth series on, Christ's birthday is etched in stone on Wednesday, October the 10th, 2 BC. So, in that sense, this is his birthday. Now, I haven't confirmed it. I have yet to confirm it, but I believe that next year the Feast of Trumpets falls on October the 4th. One never knows, does one?
You said
Now,
Jesus' birthday was October 10th.
I misspoke. His birthday is on October the 4th. And that's when the Feast of the Trumpet is next year. I want to ask you to please pray for my sister Joyce in Desert Hot Springs, California. She underwent abdominal surgery on Friday morning, and your prayers are needed. And to continue on that personal note, I want those of you who watch on the East Coast, especially in North Carolina, please report in on your status regarding the storms. Tonight we're going to teach a 3-part lesson. We're not starting a 3-lesson series, but understand a 3-part lesson. We're going to cover all 3 parts tonight. That's called the cross, the crook, and the crown. And when I say crook, I'm talking about a shepherd's staff, not a criminal. Okay? That's the instrument that he uses to guide the sheep. And after tonight's teaching, you're going to come away with a fuller understanding, acknowledgement, and recognition of Christ. Who he is, what he is, what he did, and the price he paid. At least part of the section that we're going to tonight is going to be giving this truth out in the first person. I'm saying that in quotes. It's done in the first person through King David, 1,000 years before Christ lived. So these are prophetic, successive passages, and you'll find that in Psalm 22, Psalm 23, and Psalm 24. Now, in these 3 Psalms, you're going to be seeing a symbolization of 3 different aspects of Jesus the Christ. In Psalm 22, we're symbolizing the Dying Sheppard, the Good Shepherd. In Psalm 23, symbolizing the Resurrected Sheppard, the Great Shepherd. In Psalm 24, the Ascended Sheppard, the Chief Shepherd. I want you to notice, if you're paying attention, that he seems to have advanced or graduated or been promoted upward each time. The Good Shepherd, the Great Shepherd, the Chief Shepherd. Now, as we study tonight, I'm going to point out some what I call word emphasis to increase the meaning and the feeling of these prophetic passages. Some of you will recognize some of these words, but never expect to find them in the Old Testament. So go with me now to Psalm 22, where we're going to start, representing the Dying Sheppard, the Good Shepherd, and this is called the cross. It's nothing less than the dawning of redemption. And it starts right out by saying, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Well, I think we've all heard that one way or another. But how many have not heard it in the Old Testament, 1,000 years before he said it? My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou far from helping me? And from the words of my roaring. I put a little piece of paper there in Psalm 22 because I want you to quickly go with me to Matthew 27. Remembering what he said here. The words of my roaring. Matthew 27. And I want to see in my peripheral vision some show of hands when we're there. Starting in verse 45, it says, now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour, his crucifixion, the sky being darkened to hide his visage as he was buffeted by all sickness. And he suffered God's wrath. Verse 46, and about the 9th hour, so 3 hours he went through that, Jesus cried with a loud voice. Remember his words roaring? He cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Go to verse 50. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. Remember, don't go to Psalm 22 yet, but remember he's saying, from the words of my roaring. Here is showing him crying out with a loud voice. Go to Mark 15. This chapter, we're going to go to the 34th verse. It's just slightly different than the previous. At the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice. Well, let's back up. Let's go to verse 33. You said it right. When the 6th hour was come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, by words roaring out, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Verse 37, and Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. Now back to Psalm 22. Again, my God. Now he's not saying it like we say nowadays, OMG, oh my God. He's talking to his God, my God. Verse 2, Oh my God, I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not. In the night season and am not silent, but thou art holy, O thou that inhabitest the praises of Israel. Really saying, but thou art holy, thou art enthroned on the praises of Israel. Our fathers trusted in thee. They trusted, and thou didst deliver them. They cried unto thee, and were delivered. They trusted in thee, and were not confounded. All three of those trusts, our fathers trusted, they trusted, and then again they trusted, are translating the Hebrew word for trust, batak. We've taught that enough now that I'm confident that you know that means to lean on the staff and put your full weight on it. But there's two sides to this coin. And tonight it's more important for us to understand that second side of the coin. And the second side of the coin is he's holding you up. So trusted, batak, leaning, he's holding you up. And they cried unto thee and were delivered. They trusted in thee and were not confounded. Verse 6. But I am a worm and no man. Now, do you think Jesus is calling himself a worm? This has significance, because the word that's being translated worm is tola, the Hebrew word tola. And that stands for two different things. It stands for the color scarlet, which is the color of blood. And it's speaking of an actual worm that they use to make scarlet cords or scarlet threads. And this harkens all the way back, further back in the Old Testament, when Rahab let out the red cord out of her window so that Joshua and his people would see it, and her and her family would be saved by this red cord, advanced showing of the blood of Christ. It also harkens back to when Tamar was having Judah's twins. And the one came out, stuck his hand out first, and they tied a red cord around the hand. Are we all familiar with this?
Yes, sir.
So they know who came out first. Guess who came out first? Zara, through which the line of David, through which the line of Jesus would descend. I'm a worm. He's talking about scarlet blood of Christ saving. And no man, a reproach of men and despised of the people. We're taught in the book of Isaiah, they say he's going to be despised and hated and become a reproach. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. Go back now. Remember, there's the first person, Christ on the cross. All they that see me laugh me to scorn. And they shoot out the lip. They shake the head, saying, he trusted on the Lord, that he would deliver him. Let him deliver him, seeing he delighted in him. But this word being translated as trusted is the Hebrew word galal, which means to roll off, as in Psalm 37 that we teach on, to roll your burden onto the Lord. He rolled his burden onto the Lord. Let him save him. But thou art he that took me out of the womb. Jesus talking through David. Thou didst make me hope when I was upon my mother's breasts. Again, the word hope is translating the Hebrew word batak, which is to lean. So it keeps showing up And one word where you expect it to be batak is galal, which is another word, rolling off your burden. The rest of them, 3/4 of them, are leaning on that staff. The other side of that coin is he's holding you up. I was cast upon thee from the womb. Thou art my God, from my mother's belly. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have compassed me. Strong bulls of Bashan have beset me around. They gaped upon me with their mouths as a ravening and a roaring lion. And listen. His greatest pain in that so-called passion of Christ was not the scourging, not the thorns, not the beating, not the sicknesses that he took all of on himself. His greatest pain was separation from God. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Listen in closely from verse 14 on. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax. It's melted in the midst of my bowels. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaveth to my jaws, and thou hast brought me into the dust of death. He's describing a Roman crucifixion, separating the bones, dying of thirst. He goes on, for the dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. In case there's any doubt, they pierced my hands and feet. Well, they never pierced David's hands or feet. So realize who's talking through David. I may tell all my bones. Again, as within the old days with Abraham, when he told him to tell the stars, he's saying, told them, count them up. You could see his bones sticking out. I may tell all my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them. Which actually happened. And cast lots upon my vesture. And this is being said by David 1,000 years before it happened. Be not far from me, O Lord, O my strength. Haste thee to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dog. Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorn. Then verse 22, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. Remember? Not only is he the Christ, but he's also the kinsman redeemer. He came and became kin to us. So we're his brethren and his sistren. I'll declare thy name, talking to God, unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. Verse 23, ye that fear the Lord, praise him. All ye, the seed of Jacob, glorify him and fear him. Verse 25, my praise shall be of thee in the great congregation. I will pay my vows before them that fear him. And he, before the foundations of the world, volunteered to come here. That was his vow. He volunteered to come here to do this. Verse 27, all the ends of the world shall remember, and turn unto the Lord, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee, for the kingdom is the Lord's. Go to verse 31. They shall come and shall declare his righteousness unto a people. Now that says, I want you to notice, they shall come, future, and shall declare, future, his righteousness unto a people that shall be born. But they're not yet born. That's you and me, unto a people that shall be born. That he hath done this. Well, that's when he said, it is finished. Now we're going to move to Psalm 23, the most famous of Psalms. A shorter, much more familiar journey, I'm sure. This symbolizing the resurrected shepherd, the great shepherd, for what he did. And it's called the Crook. Now I want you to remember, I said the shepherd's staff. It's not just an instrument that the shepherd uses to walk with or to lean on. They use it to hang their lanterns on. They use it to hang their hat on. But most importantly of all for tonight's lesson, they use it as a tool to control and to guide sheep. The hook is actually used. You hook on the sheep's neck. You hook on their leg when they're trying to run it. You whack them with the other end if they need it. That's the crook we're talking about here. Psalm 23. And we're getting to word emphasis here. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. That's an existential statement. He is. The Lord is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. Personalized. Lord is my shepherd. And then it says, I shall not want. Actually, the more literal says, the Lord is shepherding me. I have no wants. You see how important it is? These are saying the same things, but in a more poignant, personal way when you know what's actually being said. The Lord is shepherding me. I have no wants. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures, pleasant meadows. He leadeth me beside the still waters. We're talking about the resurrected shepherd now. He restoreth my soul. Recharging those batteries. He restoreth my soul. And then it says, he leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. No, it actually is saying, remember the crook. It says, he driveth me in the paths of righteousness. And for us modern day New Testament Christians, we can say, in the paths of faith. He driveth me in the paths of faith for his name's sake. The name applying here to Jehovah is Jehovah Rohi. The Lord is my shepherd. Verse 4, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Hearken back to Psalm 84. It says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I remember Gideon. The Lord is with thee, the one who is mighty in valor. Thou preparest a table before me. Emphasis on me. Most of the time we emphasize table. Thou prepared a table before me. Thou prepared a table before me. In the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Abundance. Surely goodness, translating loving kindness, surely loving kindness and mercy, translating forgiveness, surely loving kindness and forgiveness shall follow me all the days of my life, not in my worst days, not just in this valley of the shadow of death, not just in any valley, all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's our hope. Now, we're going to Psalm 24, where this is symbolizing the Ascended Shepherd, the Chief Shepherd. And this is the crown, the reward for the passion. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. He's given the earth and dominion. The world and they that dwell therein, all his. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend unto the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He answers it here. He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He's talking about Jesus himself. He's the one with clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob, Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty. Again, Gideon, the one mighty of the Kail. The Lord strong and mighty. The Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Verse 10, who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. Think of that. And that's showing you here that God and Christ are one and the same. Although we know God gave his Son and Christ his Son gave his life, and we know that they're one and they're separate. Here it's telling you the Christ that spoke the worlds into existence, that bore the cross, he is also the Lord of hosts. Now, he came here, Christ did, in sacrifice and in obedience to the Father, and for you and me. He did it for all those in faith, but he would have done it just for one. Thanks be to God, he came. And that's my message tonight. It's offering time. Well, the band's getting set up. I want to say to you out there, you can stay with me, Brandon. Be vigilant in keeping your messages coming in and checking in, saying that you're going to be attending church on Sunday. Very important for me to know that, okay? For the offertory, we're going to have
I saw the light.
I saw the light.
I wandered so aimless, life filled with sin. I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Just like a blind man, I wandered along. Worries and fears I claimed for my own. Then like a blind man, let God get back inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I was a fool to wander and stray. Straight is the gate and narrow's the way. Now I have traded the wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
I would like at this point, and Brandon, I'm going to want you to go back to the band. I would like to ask my wife, Lehua, to say a few important words to you before we close.
It's really close to the end. We all know that. You can feel it. You just know it. It's really, really close. I mean, forever people have been saying that, but it really is. And so I was thinking that of all the people that we love, maybe it's time now that we reach out to them and try to get them to hear the word, try to get them to understand the gospel the way we do, the faith way, and give it one last go to, give them a shot. I mean, for me, it's like I think of the people that I care about, and I don't want to go home knowing I didn't even, clue them in, or let them know what was going on the way I understood it. Anyway, that was what was on my heart and my mind. But then I got to thinking again, and there's no way that we can make anybody be faithful and to be strong in the Lord. We really can't do it. Our pastor's doing the job the way that he should, but I think what he was saying to us before about being strong in our faith might be the only way we can actually help, and praying, of course, for them, but being strong in our faith and hoping that will carry them through might really be the only real option that we have. I don't know, because I'll tell you what, if you're lukewarm, you're screwed. You'd better, right now, be strong in the Lord and His might, in these last days. If you really expect to go in the rapture, okay, you better really be working at it, not lukewarm, because no one lukewarm's going. Forget about that. That isn't going to happen. So we can't make people strong in the Lord. It's not our job. Again, I would say try to lead them to our pastor to hear what he has to say. But when push comes to shove, I think all we have is to be strong ourselves, because we are. Though I'm talking to you out there that are really putting everything you have into this, okay? Because you're the ones that are going to go home, and you're the ones that have a presence in the Lord that He's going to listen to. I don't think He's going to be listening to anybody that is lukewarm. So anyway, I'm going on too long here. I just want to say that I agree with our pastor that maybe it's our faith that's going to take whoever through that we question, whether they have enough faith to get through. So I don't know. I guess I sound like an idiot right now, but I'm getting my point across. Just be strong yourself, as strong as you possibly can be in these last days, so we have a chance to pull through those that we love that maybe don't have that strength. That's it.
Could come back to me, Brandon. Obviously, I support what she's saying. 3 different issues here. One is to give a last shot to those that you care about. 2 is to remain in faith as strong as you can, because God can save your loved ones for your faith. And number 3 is continue to support this teaching by being there, by doing your giving, by getting your messages in, by holding my arms up to let God get it out to those that need to hear it. Because believe me, at some point soon it's going to be, I'm saying this in quotes, last one out, turn out the lights and lock the door. So keep on walking in faith.
Well, I searched and I searched for a road that led to glory. I wondered if I'd ever find my way. I was so dismayed, for the road it seemed so lonely. But then I heard a voice within me say, "You've got to keep on walking. Right on walking, walking in the light of the Lord. You'll get to heaven someday. Can only get in the faith way, walking in the light of the Lord." Well, I faced and I faced, and the Lord He gave me mercy. I faced and He brightened up my way. I sat down to rest, for my feet had grown so weary. But then I heard a voice within me say, "You've got to keep on walking, keep right on walking, walking in the light of the Lord. You'll get to heaven someday, and only get in the faith way, walking in the light of the Lord. You've got to keep on walking, keep right on walking, walking in the light of the Lord. You'll get to heaven someday, and only get in the faith way, walking in the light of the Lord. Walking in the light of the Lord. Walking